What's it relating to?
What's your name?
Lindsay.
Lindsay, I'm Dale. Lindsay.
Hi Dale.
Right, what I'm doing is I'm testing to see if you might be brainwashed.
Okay.
Do you think you could be brainwashed?
No.
You don't?
No.
Do you think you're sound, you've got your own mind,
Yeah.
all your thoughts are yours?
Yeah.
You think that?
Yeah.
Why don't you turn around for me a wee minute and look at this water here?
Okay.
Right, see the surface of the water? How would you describe it?
Wrinkly?
No. See if I was to give you three options, right? And I was to draw an arc like that for you, or a U like this,
Right.
or a straight line. What one of them would you pick to describe the surface of the water?
A dip.
A dip? Where?
Just looks like a dip.
You think it looks like a dip? So you think the surface of water has a dip in it? Really?
No.
Try again then.
Flat?
So a straight line?
Yeah.
What if I made the pond twice the size?
Okay, still be flat.
Still be a straight line?
Yeah.
4 times the size.
Ah, I know where you're going with this.
Where am I going?
The world.
Right.
Is that where you're going with
Yes.
that? Right, so you think the world's round?
No.
Flat?
Don't think it's flat either.
Right, okay.
I think it's level.
Okay.
It's no flat.
It just
Because
goes
there's
on
high bits and there's low bits.
Okay. Did
So-
I ruin that because I said that? Because I knew
But
where
this
you
is the
were going?
problem. I'd have started doing this a long time ago and knew so many people because of the mainstream media. They've heard about it.
Okay.
But what the thing is they've got a false perception of people like me because I'm a skeptic and I ask questions of the things that I've always believed.
Okay.
And when I tried to prove to myself that the world was a round ball, I couldn't.
Okay.
So I had to be honest with myself and go with where it took me.
Okay.
Everything that we build, construction, flight, navigation, everything works from datum lines. You know what a datum line is?
No.
So like if we were drawing a graph, say an architect was going to design a bridge or a building, their datum line's always a horizontal, a flat line and then a vertical, 90 degrees to that, and that's what we work on. So we're assuming that the world is a level plane.
Okay.
If you believe the world's a round ball, and do you mind me asking, do you believe it's a round ball?
I've got no reason not to, I suppose.
What's your reasons for believing it? That's more important.
Pictures.
Pictures?
So
Where?
Pictures of a globe
So do you think these are photographs?
from space,
Yeah.
possibly, yeah.
They're no photographs,
Okay.
they're images. And they'll
Okay.
tell you that. And see now that I've said it to you, now when you get your phone, go to Google Images and type in Earth from space, and now you'll realise that they're no photographs you're looking at,
Okay.
they're images you're looking at. So rather than pictures, look, if I this is to show the faulty reasoning. See if I told you I could fly right now, I says to you, but I can't demonstrate it for you, but I can show you a video or a picture, would you believe I could fly?
I would believe that you believe what you want to believe, I suppose.
But would you believe I could fly?
Probably not.
What standard
Unless I see
what
it.
standard would you require? You'd require me to
need to
do
see
it
it.
right in front of you.
Yeah.
So do you think that you could take a body of water and get a ball and make the water wrap round and bend round that ball for me
No.
and stick to it?
No.
Why do you believe it?
Because it can't be done.
Why would you believe it then? You don't believe I can fly unless you can see it. So do you see what I mean about the faulty reasoning and the reasons why you believe stuff? And has that made you question a wee bit?
It has.
I mean, obviously your own reasoning must be.
I work in travel, so.
You fly? You fly a lot?
No.
No?
No.
So,
But obviously I have flown and I book flights
Yeah.
and I know about time zones.
yeah,
And obviously I've studied the world as in a map.
yeah.
So like if you had the world and you cut it in half, that's even the way it shows, you know, on a map or on an atlas.
Is a map a 3D ball or is it flat?
Well, it's flat.
When have you ever used a globe to navigate anything? You don't see people pulling out globes at the side of the motorway to navigate, do
I've
you?
got a globe that's a light.
Right,
Because it's nice.
it's an ornament.
It's pretty, yeah. And I can see all the countries and I can turn it.
So again, I'll give you the opportunity. If you wanted to make me believe that the earth was a globe, what would you point to? Other than the pictures you see on the TV, because we've established that you can't accept that based on the conversation we've just had.
I think the fact that I couldn't, I mean, where does it end, I suppose? Like, I don't know.
I'm asking you to prove to me that it's a ball.
Well, if we look around us just now, so you can see the sky looks as if it's in this kind of curve,
Right?
right?
Uh-huh.
This looks flat.
Uh-huh.
So that looks curved.
So that
it
means
looks like a roof.
so what
it
you've
looks like a dome,
so what you've described to me is a flat surface with an arch
flat
over
with
it.
an arch, yeah.
What I'll point to you, see the way that looks, right? That's to do with your vision.
Yeah.
So see when you look along the floor, see how the floor appears to rise up into the middle?
Yeah.
The sky appears to come down?
Yeah.
That's because your eyes are round.
Aye.
It's the shapes, the geometry of your eyes, it's not the world that looks like that.
It's all I can physically see.
Yeah. But is there anything else that you could point to that would tell me it's a globe?
No.
Nothing? So are you going
Prove it.
are you going to think about it then?
It make me think, yeah,
Aye.
definitely.
Well, that's the problem. Every single person
I
I
like
ask.
people that outside think from it,
Yeah.
if that's the way you want to think about
But
it.
the problem is
Think out of the globe.
But the problem is see, trying to have a discussion with people sometimes, as soon as I mention this to them, they automatically in their mind they're going, you're a flat earther. And you're trying to get past
I
that.
knew you were, but at the same time, I appreciate people that are different, and I
Yeah.
appreciate people that are different thinkers.
But I'm not a flat earther either. Because it's no flat. Because there's high points and there's low points.
So do you think it's something that continuously goes, but it's at different peaks and troughs? Because
Well, the
you have
mountains-
mountains, don't you?
but-
And you've
but-
got the sea.
But
So that goes down
so
and
see
the
when we
mountains go
gauge the height of mountains, where do we
Yeah.
go from?
Level?
Sea level.
Sea level?
Sea level, no sea curve. Levels
So
a
you've
straight.
got, aye,
Levels a straight.
curves in the water like
Would
that.
you say levels a straight line or a curve?
Level is straight, I would think.
Okay. So if we're going height wise from sea level,
Yep.
we're taking the earth as being a level plane, not a curved ball. Alright?
So I can't really say whether I'd be one or the other, but I appreciate that people are thinking about
The problem
this,
is we
they're
don't
looking
know.
into this.
We don't know how far it extends
No.
because there's treaties in place for exploration. So like when you get beyond the 60th parallel, 65th parallels, north and south, there's restrictions on us being able to travel there freely. So we don't really know what's out there. There could be another.
You could
I mean,
ask people that have travelled around the world and ask them what they've seen, and they've probably
well,
seen...
loads, millions of people have travelled around the world. When you go on an aeroplane, you go up high, the horizon's almost at your eye level all the time.
That's right.
It looks flat everywhere you're looking. You never see a curve anywhere.
No, I agree with that.
But you know, I mean, we could look at the Earth theoretically as this is a pond here,
Yeah.
and if I put land masses in there, we could say there's the continents.
Still flat, yeah.
Yeah, and what we've got is a perimeter,
Yeah.
Runas, that contains the oceans. But we don't go to the perimeters, so we don't really know what's there. Or it could extend. There could be other ponds that we don't even know about. With other, you know, they talk about extraterrestrials. Extraterrestrial just means like extra land, extra territory. So that aliens theoretically could be like us.
Yeah.
But they live in another pond across the way, just rather than being up there.
Get you?
So it's nice to have a conversation where you're not so defensive. Majority of people are always like,
What's the point? What's the
exactly.
point?
I wish everybody had that
It
attitude.
doesn't affect me. See whether it's
No.
round or whether it's flat, it doesn't affect me at the end
No.
of the day. It doesn't affect
Well-
me. I've still got to wake up for work the next morning and look after my
See, that's the
kids, but-
thing. A lot of people do say that, but see, for me, it's like we've been sold a cosmology, right, of a big bang that came from nowhere, that didn't have any reason to it, no rhyme to it. We're on this wee ball and there's no way off, so everything's like finite and delicate and it could end at any point, and they have everybody in fear in that regard. Whereas, what if this is a designed thing that you're inside? What if something created
Like
this?
a matrix.
Aye, but would that not then give a different connotation to your life? That it's not an accident, that it actually has purpose to it? That it's got some sort of meaning that goes bigger than just your job, your day-to-day life. Do you know, do you think it's an acceptable way for us to be living, to work out every day for nothing and struggle all the time?
No, we could all be doing with working smarter, I suppose.
Of course we could. So it's a shift in attitude.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, the fear-driven aspect of the finite wee rock,
Yeah.
and you've got to grab what you can for
You say that
yourself.
about a lot of things.
Aye.
The government, all sorts of things.
Aye, but it breeds a certain mind state,
Yeah.
and the mindset that people have got right now is grab what you can for yourself and fuck everybody else, because it's a sort of nihilistic, you know, philosophy that's being pushed,
Yeah.
materialism. Whereas if we realise, no, hold on a minute, we're in something designed, we could make this whatever we want here if we all pull together
Yeah.
and think of a better wee playground that we could create. We can create whatever we want here,
Yeah.
rather than putting up with this shit, you know?
I'd agree with that.
Aye, good.
If this conversation makes other people think, then I'm all for it.
Exactly, and it's been a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Welcome.
All right, cheers.
Thank you.
What's your name, bud?
Adam.
Adam, I'm Dale. Pleased to meet you, Adam.
Adele. That's
What
me.
I'm doing is I'm testing to see if you're brainwashed.
Okay.
Right? Do you
Yeah.
think you're brainwashed?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Do you think all your thoughts are your own?
Yep.
Do you think you've got a grasp on life and you've got the answers?
I think so, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, yeah.
Turn round for me.
Right.
See this body of water here?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 3 options to describe the surface of it for me, right?
Okay.
I'm going to give you a U, an arc, or a straight line. You pick one of them to describe the surface of that water.
Be a straight line.
Straight line.
Yeah.
Water finds its level.
Yeah.
Always use it in construction. We take it for granted.
Yeah.
If I extended it to 4 times the size,
Yeah.
how would you describe it?
Be the same. Flat.
10 times the size,
Yeah.
20 times the size,
Yeah.
100 times the size.
Yeah.
What shape's the world?
Round.
How can you have straight lines on a round ball?
The curvature of the earth.
Can you show me it? How would you show me that the earth was curved? In your experience with
Satellite images.
images,
Yeah.
if I told you I could fly,
Yeah.
but I can't show you here right now, but when you go home I can show you on YouTube on a video, would you accept I can fly?
No.
Why would you accept that then?
It's impossible.
So what you're saying to me is you need to be able to experience things yourself in order to accept that it's a reality. Oh, I can fly.
Yeah.
Can't show you, but I can show you on a video or a picture. Would you
Yeah.
accept that I can fly?
No.
So you accept the world's a round ball based on a picture? We've just established, see that stuff there?
Yeah.
You can test that. You know that you can take that stuff and it will show you that it always forms a flat horizontal surface. You know that,
Yeah.
but you're doubting yourself right now. Because
What about if you're, for example, on the plane then, and you see
flat horizon. What shape's the horizon?
I suppose, yeah.
What shape is it? How would you describe it? Straight line?
Yeah.
Same as the water?
Yeah.
So where's all this curve? Do you know how construction works?
So, what about, how can you go both ways around the world then?
What do you mean? If you keep going, you come back to where you started.
Mm.
So you're the North Pole,
Yeah.
right? My compass is pointing towards you. This is just theoretically, I can show you this, right? So as soon as I start moving this way, where am I going to end up?
Back at the beginning.
Back at the beginning.
Yeah.
So how does that prove you live on a ball? You ever, what way do you hold a compass?
Just like that.
Right. So if you're away underneath the ball here, there's your compass pointing away out to space. Right, I'll give you up every opportunity. If you believe the world's a ball,
Yeah.
give me the best thing that you can think of to convince me, through your experience, that you can show me as another man and convince me that the earth's a ball. Go for it. Mind what I says at the beginning here, we're trying to highlight brainwashing. And I'll tell you something, right? I go to universities, I go to higher education students, I speak to engineers, I speak to everybody, and see when I ask them these questions, I get the exact same response. Now for me that should show concern, that you're believing something that you don't really comprehend.
Yeah.
That's what a cult does to you. So, I'll give you the opportunity, convince me it's a ball. Best thing that you can think of.
Best thing I can think of. Well, I suppose it's gravity, I would have thought.
What's that? It's gravity.
You've got to have a central core to be able to have gravity, haven't you?
What do
So
you mean?
it's got to be, that centre's got to be part of.
So you're talking about mass. There's two variations of gravity. You've got Newtonian, you've got Einsteinian. Newtonian gravity asserts that mass attracts mass. So I'm bigger than you, theoretically.
Yeah.
You should be feeling some sort of, you know, force bringing you towards me. Have you ever seen anything like that in your life? apart from magnets, but that's a total other option altogether. But I mean, these things don't happen. Einsteinian gravity is a whole other mathematical concept. It's mathematical. It's not something that we can show each other. They're just theorising and coming up with mathematical theorems and trying to make their theorems work. But it's nothing to do with reality. You know, because Einstein will say the warping and bending of space-time. Space-time's not a thing. You can't bring me a jar of space-time and show me that and let's do physics on it. I grew up learning physics in school. Physics is about demonstrating things, like we use apparatus, we use these substances and we show how it works. If I gave you a rock and I gave you water and I gave you a vacuum, do you think you could recreate the globe Earth and put the rock in the vacuum, have it suspended with the water all wrapped around it?
No.
So is it physics then?
No.
It's theoretical physics. It's language that's been created to explain the image that they've gave us. There's nothing about the globe Earth that you can relate to in your everyday life. Absolutely nothing. You experience no motion. You look at the horizon, it's a flat level line. You look at water, it forms a horizontal free surface. You look at the sky, right, this is where I'll show you where the curve is, right, because it's your eyes. When you're looking here, the sky appears to come down. The floor, when you're looking straight out, the floor appears to come up into the middle of your view. And everything else appears to come in like this. Things get smaller in the distance. That's what gives you the illusion that you're standing on something curved. The reality is that you're standing on a level earth. And we demonstrate it. As I say, do you know how construction works? You ever been in construction?
No, never.
Do you know what plumb means? Like plumb and level?
No.
So plumb is when we hang a plumb bob that shows us the perfect vertical, and at 90 degrees to that we've got the level. Every construction in the world utilises that. Now if I've got a horizontal level and I build, say a building a mile long, then the curvature of the earth would start to increase as I get to the end of my construct. Because it's a curved surface. But we don't operate on a curved surface. Architects, engineers, construction workers, flight dynamics, everything assumes a level earth and that it's no moving. You never wondered why you look at the sky at night and the stars are always the same?
No.
I mean, they're telling you that we're chasing the sun through the galaxy at millions of miles an hour, wobbling and gyrating and spinning, so that in the summer we're on this side of the sun, so night time's away from the sun, and then in 6 months time we're at the other side of the sun looking at another sky, but yet Polaris and all the star constellations are the exact same every single night.
So how does not day and night work then, if it's flat?
Well, it's not that it's flat. What we have to look at is the sun, and people have made assumptions. They're telling you that thing up there is 93 million miles away. Do you believe that? 93 million miles.
Yeah, I did.
A big fireball, 93 million miles away. The problem is when this is I'll show you the absurdity of this, right? If I came to your house and you says to me, I want you to measure my floor for me, and I showed up with a pair of binoculars and I was on your floor looking at the light bulbs going, right, your light bulb's round, so your floor must be round. You'd be like, get the men in the white coats to get this man out of my house here. See what I mean? So when we're looking up there, it doesn't give us any sort of measure of what's down here. We don't know what these things are, but you can't get to them. You can't access them in 3 dimensions. We're only looking at them and trying to think about what we're saying. It's like me saying to you, right, that person up in the hill, what size are they? About that size?
Yeah, tiny.
Unless you can get to them and access run them to know the full dimensions of them, you're never going to know, are you?
No.
Right, so it's the same with these things. So theoretically, if that's local, closer, you know, just like if I had a torch here and it was dark and I moved it away, then this would become dark now and the light would follow wherever the light goes.
If it's not round, then what would it be?
See the pond? This is just a possibility, because I can demonstrate this to you. If I put land masses in the pond, we'll say, right, there's Africa, there's Europe, there's South America, then I've just created a scale model reference of the pond that we could possibly be living in, and it's contained by a perimeter of some kind, Could be ice. People theorise that it's an ice continent. Like Antarctica actually encompasses us. It's not like a wee landmass at the bottom of a ball. It actually circles us. People, you know, theorise that beyond our pond. So imagine this is our pond.
Yeah.
And then you had a channel that went somewhere else, and there was another pond. There's other ponds round about us, and this is where the whole notion of extraterrestrials comes in. Because an extraterrestrial just means extra land, extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
So there could be people that look like you and I in ponds all round about us, and they don't even know we exist. We don't even know they exist. But one thing's for sure is there's no life up the way, because you can't get out and beyond. So theoretically right now there's extraterrestrials walking amongst us. We don't even know because they look like us. They just come from another pond.
Do you reckon?
Well, that or your other option is that they've got wee spaceships and they go to imaginary planetoids in the vacuum of space. Here's another one for you, right? Just because I want to help you, because you look as if you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
You see that was a pressurised can you had, like a tin of Lynx deodorant.
Yeah.
What happens if you puncture a hole in it?
Bursts.
Right, what happens to the pressure inside there? Immediately comes out.
Yeah.
So we know in physics that when you've got high pressure and low pressure, if you don't separate the two of them, the high pressure will immediately burst into the low pressure. Right? So we know that you have to contain pressure away from like a lower pressure environment. They're trying to tell you that up there's a vacuum, an infinite vacuum, and we're a wee tiny ball with gas stuck around it, and it doesn't just boom into the vacuum of space. But physics again, physics, we could go into a lab, we could go anywhere and we could show this to you, that that's what happens. If there's a vacuum and you don't contain the gas from the vacuum, it's immediately going to go. So just to cut it all, the point I'm trying to show you here is that there's a massive difference between what you believe and what we can, as human beings, can actually demonstrate to each other.
Yeah.
I go with what we can demonstrate to each other because I know that's real.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing on the TV and what these people are telling me, if they can't demonstrate it to me, I'm not interested in it. It's a religious nonsense. It's a brainwashing mechanism. And I'll give you a reason for why. I think, right, if you tell human beings that there's a fence around them, what do you think human beings are going to act like? What would a human being do? If I put you in a place and there's a fence around you, right, so how do you avoid that?
There's no fence.
Put you on a ball. Because on a ball,
Yeah.
there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And you'll never think about it. Because you'll just get in circles like you said a minute ago.
Yeah, but surely the amount of people that have sort of went to space from different continents, from
It's new on you, right? So here's the thing, I could say stuff to you all day. I don't want to, because I'm not wanting to spoon feed anybody. No, I've planted the seed with you, and if it gets your curiosity, you go to Google, you go in the searches, you look for images or pictures from Earth, from space, and you, in your honesty, you have a look at these and you tell me if you believe them now. Because I guarantee you now that I've said it to you, they're no photographs. They're no photographs you're seeing. And they'll tell you that they're no photographs. They'll tell you they're images. And they'll tell you how they create the images. They say they take strips of data and then they put it all together, and then they incorporate Photoshop to put in the colour and the clouds, and they're telling you this. If you go to NASA's website, it tells you images. It's not photographs. And how many of them are they saying have went in the whole history of space travel? Do you know who created NASA? A guy called Werner von Braun. He's a Nazi in America.
yeah.
Werner von Braun, check it out, founder of NASA. And they say that there's only 500 people in the whole populace of the world that have been to space, or apparent space. 500. Out of, what, 7 billion? That's nothing. That's like me getting 500 of my mates and telling you that we've been to the 5th dimension and spoke with unicorns. Had a wee smoke with some unicorns last night. Look, I've got pictures I can show you. You would be looking at me and going, oh, fuck off, mate. But what I'm saying is but you're quite willing to believe that 500 people in these institutions are offering you these stories. I mean, at the very least, the only thing I wanted to create was a bit of doubt in your mind.
Yeah.
Because
You've done that.
but there's benefit
Sure.
to come out of it, because you learn not to just take things for granted and to think, well, I'll go back to the first question again. Do you think you could be brainwashed?
Well, I think anyone could be brainwashed, yeah.
Aye. Well, if you tell me you believe something and then I ask you for your reasons and you don't have any,
Yeah.
that's brainwashing.
Yeah.
Because you believe it and you don't know why.
I'll be on Google Earth now later.
Good. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. And beware of propaganda. 'Cause as soon as you start looking at stuff, YouTube and Google are going to feed you shit saying flat earth and flat earth ridicule, and it's all nonsense. People like me don't make the claims that they're telling you we make. I'm just a skeptic. I always say to people, I believed I lived on a globe for fucking 30 odd years of my life.
Yeah.
I'd
What
need,
made you doubt it then?
because I tried to prove it. Just like I'm asking you today. If you can justify it to yourself now, fine, I'll accept that, because then you can offer me reasons for why you believe it. Right now you have no reasons.
No.
It's just a blind belief that you've got. And that's what I'm trying to highlight. Alright?
You certainly got me fucking drinking, eh, you know.
Pleasure, my man.
Hey,
Thank you for the
pleasure to
chat.
meet you. Yeah,
You
no
too.
problem, buddy.
Alright?
No problem.